Hi, my name is Liam Shields, the hiring manager here at Tranquility Incorporation. It's nice to meet you. Before we begin, I'd like to give a quick overview of what your position entails. The job you are applying for, the senior project manager, involves planning, organizing, and managing resources to achieve the successful completion of project goals. For this stage of the interview process, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we begin?
Yes, just very quickly, I would like to thank you very much for this opportunity. So thank you,
Sure. Yep.
Liam, for having me. Thank you.
All right, let's get to it. So, how would your boss and coworkers describe you?
I would say as energetic. I like to come into the office every day with positive energy. And if I have a bad commute, just getting into the office, just try to shift and be energetic. And I would say, secondly, positive. I always try to find silver linings in any situation. We can learn from good. That's we can learn a lot from good and bad situations.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, hopefully, uh, employed with Tranquility Inc. and celebrating my, or actually close to celebrating my 5 year anniversary. And I do ideally see myself in a leadership role. So hopefully that is where I am in 5 years.
It's good to hear. Why do you stand out from your peers?
I would say my experience makes me stand out from my peers, and my experience both in our industry. I've been with a number of different firms and also working with different people. Given that I've worked in a number of different jobs, I've met a lot of different people and personalities.
All right. What else should I know that's not currently on your resume?
I would say generally, I like to work with people that I know and can develop a relationship with. And I've never put on my resume anything that's outside of the industry, such as other activities. So things that I enjoy, sports. I definitely enjoy watching sports. And in terms of activities I'm interested in, I like to stay fit. So I do a lot of walking and swimming.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a time you excelled while you were in a leadership position?
Yes, I'm actually dealing with a situation right now, and I like to think I'm excelling. Um, we're dealing with a lot of challenges on the work front with people in transition, trying to get everybody to be enthused and energetic to return to the office and be physically in the office after a couple of years working remotely. And believe it or not, there are still I still get some resistance from that. So I'm really trying to be receptive and listening to my team members. Certainly listening to them and being attentive as possible to their needs, recognizing that some of their habits during the pandemic have changed, and trying to allow a lot of flexibility to my team.
Okay. How would you describe your management style, and can you give me an example?
I try to gather ideas from other people and try to, it's easier said than done, but I try to listen more than I speak. And I really try to operate with no idea is a bad idea. I try hard not to interrupt people if they're sharing ideas. So I would say that would be, I like that for my management style, is just to foster the creation of new ideas. An example would be we were facing a challenge recently with a customer that we had, and we had to change our process. We didn't know how to do it, so we really set up a true brainstorming session that allowed everybody time to speak and encouraged folks to share their ideas.
All right. So, would you say that you work well with other people? And can you give me an example from a time you have demonstrated good teamwork?
Yes, I like to think that I work well with other people. A lot of my job is dealing with a lot of parties outside the investment group for the company that I worked with. I'm now applying for this job. Just as an example, I used to work for this other firm, and we would be dealing with lawyers. We'd be dealing with compliance officers. So there's a lot of different stakeholders involved. I think I do a good job getting folks to collaborate and work well as
All right. So, what would you say is the best decision you have ever made? What were the alternatives, and how did you go about making it?
The best decision that we as a company at my old at my current place of employment is we were once pursuing a customer that was in another country, and there was a lot of questions about should we really be pursuing this customer? They're in another country. That's going to make everything more complicated. Pay us? Do we have to convert their money and their currency and all that? And we elected to move ahead and do business with that company, and it was a large company, and it gave our company a lot of notoriety. And since then, it has grown because we proved that we could do business with this firm, and now a lot of other firms are signing up to do business with us.
1 second.
Yep. And let me know, please, if you have any more details.
Yeah, that was great. Could you describe a time that you had a deadline get moved, and how did you overcome this unforeseen change?
A lot of it is always just managing expectations all the time. We've had cases in which something has, and it happens quite frequently. We work with a lot of attorneys, and we always anticipate that a deadline will come sooner than it actually is. So if we're giving a deadline, say June 15th, our goal is to get it done by June 10th. So we're always aiming to get something done sooner. So we're always proactively thinking about how to address potential moving deadlines because we deal with it a lot.
Okay. And this is the final question. Have you ever had trouble adapting to a new situation, and how did you deal with that situation?
Yes, I have had trouble dealing um, customers. As I mentioned earlier, we do business. We decide new markets and new countries, and the manner in which you conduct yourself is different from there. And just as one example, here in the United States, when you present business cards, it's okay to slide them across the table to folks. If you do that in some of the countries located in Asia, it's considered insulting. So what I did to overcome that is I found a business associate over there that lived over there, and he was raised over in South Korea, and he showed me how you present business cards. So it's really just looking for help from a fellow colleague, somebody that I worked with, and somebody that knew the market.
All right. Those are all the questions I had. You did a great job. Is there anything you wanted to add that we didn't cover today?
I would definitely like to add that I'm very enthused for this job, and I can start anytime. I'm employed right now, but that is something that I do have to, out of respect for them, give them proper notice, which for my company is 2 weeks, but I am ready to go and anxious to hear back.
All right, perfect. So HR will contact you about the next steps. Do you have any final questions for me?
Just one final question. Is there anything that I can do to prepare for the job?
If you want to prepare for the job, I would just look into what we do at this company. If you could read your job description and just really prepare yourself for what the future will hold for you.
Okay, great. I will look at the website and I'll do some more research myself.
All right, great. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Liam. Pleasure to meet you.
Goodbye.
Bye.